Okay, finally getting around to posting up my Unistrut skeletal garage shelving I put in quite some time ago. Basically, I call it skeletal. Using these materials, it leaves about the minimum footprint you can leave with the maximum amount of storage. I don't like woodworking and I'm not good with it. I'm a mechanical guy, so I do everything out of nuts and bolts and metal that I can. This shelving is pretty much strong as it gets, as long as you're in the studs everywhere, which I am. Overall, I think it has a really clean look. And like I said, it's as strong as it gets. I can have all this stuff up there. I also put another smaller one overhead up here. It tucks into nice smaller spaces sometimes too. And without the bulkiness of the wood, like I said, just a minimal footprint, not real noticeable in the garage other than the stuff that's up there. So I guess I'll start. Obviously, the only wood I used was the header, which I installed and lagged in with these 3.5 inch screws. They are number 10s. So that was the only wood I used, just for the ledger board on both shelves. And then basically with the Unistrut going into the ceiling, I used the smaller stuff, but on the bottom I used the larger, thicker stuff, so I didn't have any basically bending, just a lot stouter along the bottom. I forget what the actual sizing of this stuff is, but you can see the thickness difference of the two. And then with the suspension of it is just 3/8 all thread. And I've seen some installations where people were running the all thread through the bottom and a nut and a washer and all thread sticking out the bottom. Well, I use the Unistrut nuts inside, and it's a little more work to get the all thread and the adjustment so everything's level, but it's a lot cleaner look. And then I went ahead and I put clear tubing over the all thread, so there's no sharp edges or anything, and just a nicer finish, I think. And then everything's basically tightened down with good thick washers, lock nuts, and also the all thread will just go through the spacing on the really stout shelf grating that I found. They sell this stuff that goes with some of the shelving units sold at Lowe's, but you can buy these panels and they really don't budge much. I've got quite a bit of weight on these. So basically in the front, I've got along the front here just all the all thread and the washers and the nuts, so nothing moves, everything's tightened at the top. And then in the back, I had to buy some clips and kind of bend some things and make it myself to button this thing down along the top of the ledger board in the back. So there's nothing coming off, going anywhere. And then the grating pieces, as they come together underneath, I just kind of put some zip ties on them as the pieces join together, just to keep everything really snug and tight. This stuff basically kind of sat right down in the Unistrut here a little bit. And I think it just provided a really nice finished look on it. So basically, this long stretch of shelving, I've only got 5 all threads, so there's really nothing in the way for putting your stuff up there, and it's plenty of support. I mean, you can still do pull-ups off this thing, as long, I guess, as your house structure will support it. And that's about it. I personally think it's some of the best shelving. I saw some stuff online on it, gave me some better ideas. It's obviously, I think, more expensive than using wood, but in my opinion, I like the look of it for my garage. I use metal cabinets and whatnot as well, so it just kind of goes with everything here a little bit better. So once again, that's the inside of the Unistrut nut, and the main thing with that is just getting the all threads cut to pretty close to the exact length and then leveling it out. It's a little tougher than just putting all the way through and using a nut and washer, but it gives a lot cleaner look, and there's quite a bit of weight and it doesn't really sag down. Even the gratings are, like I said, are pretty stout. They rarely sag much. It's just a really good shelving idea for anybody that wants to put the time in. Because when I bought this place, there was not a single shelf on the walls, which is what I liked because I wanted to do everything the way I wanted it. So it's always good starting clean from scratch. But there you have it. Metal skeletal Unistrut shelving.